こんばんは。3月5日木曜日です。今日のニュースを優しい英語でお届けします。
The United States has killed an Iranian leader in a targeted airstrike. Officials say the leader was involved in a plot to assassinate President Trump. Defense Secretary Hegseth commented on the successful operation, stating that President Trump had the last laugh. The strike comes amid heightened tensions between the two nations.
Minister Koizumi has ordered the self-defense forces to prepare aircraft for the potential evacuation of Japanese citizens. This move is a precaution to ensure the safety of Japanese nationals living abroad. The government is monitoring the situation closely and will deploy the planes if the local security environment continues to worsen.
The launch of the Kairos No. 3 rocket ended in failure on Wednesday morning. The small rocket, developed by a Tokyo startup, was launched from a site in Wakayama Prefecture. However, flight officials aborted the mission while the rocket was still rising. This is the third consecutive failure for the Kairos series.
Prosecutors in Nagoya have indicted a 69-year-old woman for a murder that occurred 27 years ago. The defendant, Kumiko Yasufuku, is accused of killing a 32-year-old woman in an apartment in 1998. The victim was the wife of the defendant's former classmate. This long unsolved case has finally reached the court.
China has lowered its economic growth target for the coming year. During the National People's Congress, Premier Li Qiang announced a target of 4.5 to 5%. This is a decrease from last year's goal of 5%. Officials cited weak domestic demand and international uncertainty as major challenges.
Ayaka Sasaki, a member of the popular idol group mo iro Clover Z, has announced her marriage. The 29-year-old singer shared the news on her Instagram account on a day considered very lucky in Japan. She thanked her fans for their support and promised to continue her career with even more energy.
3 tourists were injured when a metal sign collapsed at a strawberry farm in Tochigi Prefecture. The incident happened at a popular sightseeing spot in the town of Nasu. The victims were taken to the hospital but remained conscious. Police believe strong winds caused the heavy sign to fall over unexpectedly.
The Tokyo High Court has ordered the dissolution of the Unification Church. The court ruled that the group's high donation demands caused severe financial and mental harm to many people for over 40 years. A lawyer has been appointed to manage the church's assets and handle compensation for the many victims involved.
2 Myanmar nationals have been arrested for performing illegal plastic surgery in Japan. The suspects allegedly performed double eyelid procedures without a medical license. One victim reported that she could no longer open her eyes properly after the surgery. Police are investigating the case as a violation of the Medical Practitioners Act.
Yuichiro Tamaki, the leader of the Democratic Party for the People, is expected to join a group called the National Conference. This announcement marks a significant move in the current political landscape. Observers are watching closely to see how this decision will affect future government policies and various political alliances.
次は社会のニュースです。
The Tokyo High Court has ordered the dissolution of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, known as the former Unification Church. The court ruled that the group caused severe financial and mental harm through forced donations for over 40 years. Liquidation proceedings will now begin to compensate victims.
Prosecutors have indicted a 69-year-old woman for a murder committed 27 years ago in Nagoya. The victim was a 32-year-old woman found in an apartment in 1999. The suspect, who was a classmate of the victim's husband, is now facing charges for the killing after nearly 3 decades.
A Japanese doctor has been arrested for pouring oil at Katori Shrine in Chiba Prefecture. The suspect was living in the United States and was extradited back to Japan. Police are investigating the case as similar oil damage has been reported at several other shrines and temples across the country.
The president of Okinawa University, Manabu Yamashiro, has resigned from his position. The university announced that his resignation follows reports of inappropriate remarks made to faculty and staff members. The school did not provide specific details about the comments, but confirmed the leadership change took place this week.
Police in Fukuoka have arrested a 55-year-old former sauna owner for secretly filming customers. He allegedly hid a small camera inside a wall hook in the dressing area. The suspect admitted to installing the device, but claimed it was for security purposes. Several customers were recorded without their consent.
2 Myanmar nationals have been arrested in Tokyo for performing plastic surgery without medical licenses. They allegedly operated on 3 women in private rooms, causing health problems like difficulty opening eyes. One suspect denied the charges, while the other claimed he was only assisting. They recruited customers through social media.
3 tourists were injured and taken to the hospital after a metal signboard fell at a strawberry farm in Tochigi Prefecture. The incident happened in Nasu town during strong winds. A weather warning was active at the time. Fortunately, all 3 victims remained conscious after being hit by the sign.
A pregnant woman in Gunma Prefecture suffered a miscarriage after an ambulance carrying her was delayed. The vehicle went off the road while heading to the hospital, causing an 18-minute delay. Fire department officials in Ota City confirmed the incident and are investigating the details of the transport failure.
A recent survey by the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare shows how people feel about their working hours. About 10% of workers want to work more, while over 59% are happy with their current schedule. The government will use these results to discuss future labor laws.
Osaka University of Economics has fired a staff member in his 30s for stealing about 42 million yen. The employee admitted to taking the money from a student support fund to use for gambling on boat and bicycle races. The university is now considering filing a criminal complaint against him.
次はビジネス関連のニュースです。
The Japanese government is considering evacuation support for its citizens in the Middle East. Many Japanese travelers are currently unable to leave because several countries have closed their airspace. Officials are looking into moving people by land to neighboring countries so they can safely fly out and return to Japan.
The Nikkei stock average rose over 1,000 yen today, closing at 55,278 yen. This is the first increase in 4 days. The market followed gains in the U.S. after a strong jobs report and stable oil prices. Investors are also hopeful following reports about possible talks to end Middle East conflicts.
China has lowered its economic growth target to between 4.5 and 5% for this year. This is the first target cut in 3 years due to a slow property market and weak demand. The government plans to focus on high-tech areas like artificial intelligence to become more self-reliant.
President Trump has officially nominated Kevin Warsh to be the next head of the Federal Reserve. The nomination has been sent to the U.S. Senate for approval. If confirmed, he will replace Jerome Powell in May. However, some lawmakers from both parties have expressed concerns about the appointment.
Honda will start selling 2 car models made in the United States in Japan later this year. This move aims to balance trade between the 2 countries. Other companies like Toyota are also importing U.S.-made vehicles. This follows criticism from President Trump regarding the trade gap in the auto industry.
Yuichiro Tamaki, the leader of the Democratic Party for the People, has announced he will join a new national council. He said his party decided to participate because the government accepted their specific policy requests. This move could influence future political discussions and cooperation between the ruling and opposition parties.
The United States plans to increase global import tariffs from 10% to 15% this week. However, reports say the European Union might be excluded from this increase. Japan's industry minister is visiting Washington to discuss how these new rules will affect Japanese goods and the trade relationship.
Japan and the United Arab Emirates have reached a new economic agreement. Both countries have agreed to work together more closely on trade and investment. The deal also includes cooperation on protecting Japanese citizens living in the region. This agreement strengthens the relationship between Japan and the Middle East.
A major Japanese labor union, UA Zenzen, is asking for a 6.46% wage increase for full-time workers. This is the highest request since the group was formed in 2012. The union says higher wages are necessary to help workers deal with rising prices caused by conflicts in the Middle East.
The Japanese government is taking steps to help victims of the former Unification Church. Following a court order to dissolve the group, officials are setting up consultation services. These offices will provide information on how victims can seek compensation and legal help during the church's liquidation process.
では、スポーツニュースをお伝えします。
In the World Baseball Classic, World Number 2, Taiwan suffered a surprising loss in their opening game. They were defeated 3-0 by Australia at the Tokyo Dome. Despite Taiwan's strong roster and status as recent tournament champions, Australia's pitching and defense held them scoreless to secure an important victory.
Japanese speed skating star Miho Takagi has announced her plans to retire from top-level competition. The 31-year-old athlete holds a record 10 Olympic medals, the most for any Japanese woman. She stated that the upcoming World Championships starting today will be her final appearance on the international stage.
The United States baseball team showed incredible power in the World Baseball Classic. They scored 14 runs on 14 hits, including 5 home runs. Star player Aaron Judge hit a massive 138-meter home run during the game. The team has now scored 29 runs over their first 2 tournament matches.
Japan's national baseball team has arrived in Tokyo for their first game of the World Baseball Classic on March 6th. Manager Hirokazu Ibata said the team will work together to win every tough match. He also confirmed that star pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto will start the opening game for Japan.
At the Milano Cortina Winter Paralympics, Japan's wheelchair curling team lost their opening match against China. The pair of Aki Ogawa and Yoji Nakajima fell with a score of 3-10. Their young 23-year-old coach, Eri Ogihara, encouraged the veteran players to stay positive for the remaining league matches.
Professional baseball player Hideki Azumura and 2 coaches from the Rakuten Eagles have been referred to prosecutors. They are suspected of gambling at an online casino. Police reported the case on March 4th. This news has surprised many fans as the team prepares for the start of the new season.
This year's World Baseball Classic is creating a buzz because games are not being shown on traditional television. Instead, the tournament is streaming exclusively on Netflix. Experts believe this is a major test to see if sports fans in Japan are ready to switch completely to online streaming services.
Olympic gold medalist Ayumu Hirano has announced his goal to compete in the 2030 Winter Olympics in the French Alps. The 27-year-old snowboarder wants to reach his peak performance for what would be his 5th consecutive Olympic appearance. This is the first time he has publicly shared these plans.
Japan's women's national soccer team, Nadeshiko Japan, won their opening match of the Asian Cup. They defeated Taiwan with a score of 2-0. This tournament is being held in Australia and serves as a qualifier for the World Cup. Japan's team is now one step closer to qualifying.
The new season of the Japanese Women's Professional Golf Tour has officially begun. Fans were excited to see the players return to the course for the first tournament of the year. The competition started with great energy, and the very first birdie of the 2026 season has already been made.
続いて、国際ニュースです。
China's National People's Congress has begun. Premier Li Qiang announced a new economic growth target for this year. The target is set between 4.5 and 5%. This is lower than last year's goal of around 5%. The change reflects challenges like weak domestic demand and global tensions.
China will increase its defense spending by 7% in 2026. The total budget will reach approximately 43.4 trillion yen. This move is seen as part of China's strategy regarding Taiwan. The government aims to strengthen its military power as it continues to focus on the goal of national unification.
At the National People's Congress, the Chinese government used stronger language regarding Taiwan. Premier Li Qiang stated that China will strike those seeking Taiwan's independence. This is a shift from previous terms like oppose. However, the government also promised to provide equal treatment and benefits for people from Taiwan.
Iran has launched a large-scale missile attack against Israel. This marks the 6th day of intense conflict between the two nations. The situation continues to escalate as both sides exchange fire. International observers are closely monitoring the impact of these strikes as the regional tension reaches a critical point.
U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth says the United States will control Iran's airspace within a few days. He also announced that a U.S. submarine sank an Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean using a torpedo. President Trump praised the military's performance, saying the operations are going very well so far.
An Iranian naval ship has sunk off the coast of Sri Lanka after being hit by a torpedo from a U.S. submarine. Reports indicate that at least 80 people on board have died. The vessel was reportedly in international waters when the attack occurred during the ongoing military conflict.
Reports say Iran has contacted the United States to discuss possible ceasefire conditions. This happened shortly after the U.S. and Israel began military operations against Iran. According to officials, the request was made on March 1st. It is unclear how the U.S. government will respond to this proposal.
A U.S. trade court has ordered the Trump administration to refund money to companies. The order concerns tariffs that were previously ruled invalid by the Supreme Court. These reciprocal tariffs were collected from various businesses. While the court ordered the refunds, the administration is expected to appeal the decision.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un recently inspected a new destroyer and witnessed a cruise missile launch. He stated that the Navy's nuclear armament is progressing well. The new ship is designed to carry tactical nuclear weapons. Kim plans to build 2 of these advanced warships every year for the Navy.
Primary elections have begun in Texas for the upcoming U.S. midterm elections in November. In the Democratic primary, several notable candidates secured victories. Among them is James Tallarico, who is seen as a rising leader in the party. These elections are the first step in deciding who will run in November.
続いて、文化、 芸能ニュースをお伝えします。
Ayaka Sasaki, a member of the idol group MoいろクローバーZ, has announced her marriage. The 29-year-old singer shared the news on her Instagram account on March 5th. She expressed deep gratitude to the fans and staff who have supported her career. Fans are celebrating this happy news today. Akira Kinoshita, the lead singer of the group Arrow Knights, has passed away at the age of 77. He died in a hospital on March 3rd due to internal bleeding. Kinoshita was famous for hit songs like Nakanoshima Blues. A private funeral will be held for his family members.
Comedian Hidetaka Kano shared a funny story at a Pokemon event on March 5th. He revealed that he practiced dancing very hard for a new commercial. However, the dancing scene was not used in the final version. Kano joked about his hard work going to waste during the event.
The popular TV drama Abu is creating excitement for its season 24 finale. In the special episode airing March 11th, a former partner of the main character will appear for the first time. Actor Ken Ishiguro plays a detective who worked with the lead character 26 years ago.
Comedian Kazuyutaka Koyabu spoke at a career event on March 5th. He gave advice to husbands who feel jealous of their wives' success. He said a family is like a soccer team. Whether you're earning money or doing housework, every member plays an important role for the team.
The Japanese government is discussing a new plan for gender equality. This plan includes giving legal status to the use of maiden names. The government wants to create a system where people can use their former names more easily. This proposal was shown to a political group on Wednesday.
The famous manga series One Piece has reached 600 million copies in print worldwide. The latest volume was released on March 4th, written by Ichiro Oda. The story of Luffy and his friends has been running since 1997. It remains one of the most successful manga series in history.
Comedian Kazuki Machida was the target of a prank on the TV show Love It. He was tricked into thinking a 3 million yen vase was broken during a live segment. His shocked reaction and the strange atmosphere made the studio audience laugh. Other comedians jokingly called it a broadcast accident.
2 unpublished stories by Nobel Prize winner Kenzaburo Oaa have been found. The manuscripts were kept by his former landlord from when he was a student. These are some of his earliest works from the 1950s. The stories will be published in a literary magazine on March 6th.
今日のニュースは以上です。最後までお付き合いいただき、ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。